is well. We're back with part two for Planet 2 of Planetary Magic here, of course, by me, Rafiki Simone. Okay, we're going to get into it. Planet 2, the moon, also known as Luna, um, which is beautiful, right? The moon's planetary symbol is that little crescent that you see over there. It doesn't matter which way it's facing, it's okay. The Hebrew name for the moon is Lavana or Lavana. It doesn't matter which way you say it. The title of the moon, which is the divine mind in the tree of life in the Kabbalah, is Yesod, or some people say Yasud, even though it's an E right there, meaning foundation to some and pure intelligence to others. The element of the moon is definitely water. Let's talk about some characteristics of the moon or Luna. The moon will always bring, arouse, or birth purification and cleansing, knowledge and revelations, endings and beginnings, psychic abilities, wisdom, feminine balance, shadow power, fertility, mystery, emotion, and seduction. For that shadow power, I know that's kind of off for a lot of people, but that shadow power is basically dealing with the part that is hidden, your part of you that's hidden, right? Also your lower self, even your lower self has a power that actually can help you with specific things and different things. And you're going to find that there's two sides to the moon. There is this beautiful side that purifies and cleanses, and then there's another side which is more darker, and that is supposed to be that way. Okay, we'll get into that because there's a deity that's going to be coming up later on that we're going to be talking about that specifically deals with that. So let's talk about an Egyptian god. Well, let's talk about moon gods, period, right? Um, you know him as Thoth, but his real name is Jehudi. Okay, Jehudi. This guy over here which is the Egyptian god of the moon and air. A lot of Egyptian gods and goddesses, deal with a lot of airs and birds and stuff like that. If you can see on this picture right here, he has the head or the face of an ibis bird, right? And in his hand, he's actually holding the ankh, but it's inside of an instrument that is actually holding the ankh in place to sit upright. It's one of the reasons why he's doing that is because he's actually self-created. Okay, according to Egyptology, mythology, or Egyptology, period, he has no mother or father, right? So, Thoth, Thoth, which is what the white folks call him, but his real name is Jehudi. Jehudi, that's how you say that word, Jehudi, in the Egyptian language or in Kemetic language. He is responsible for the Book of the Dead, and he apparently gave who they call Isis, whose real name is Aset, gave her the magic words to resurrect her husband Osiris, whose real name is Osar, when he got killed by his brother and then dismembered, and then 13 pieces were scattered across wherever. And when she found, I want to say 12 pieces, and the last piece that was missing was his phallic piece or his penile structure. Okay, so therefore she had to make one out of gold and place it there. This is the reason why you see in a lot of Egyptology they have what they call phallic worship, right, or penis worship. So apparently Jehudi was the one who gave Aset, aka Isis, the magic words to resurrect her husband after putting his body back together, right? Who is Osiris, aka real name is Osar. Also, when Horus, their son, also known as Jesus Christ to you and whoever else, whose real name is Haru, when he passed away, it was said that Jehuti was the one who resurrected him as well. So this is where we get the Book of the Dead and another book, the Book of. Dang, I'm gonna have to remember it. But anyway, he's the Egyptian god of wisdom. Usually, again, he has the head of an ibis. But uncommonly, he can be seen as either a baboon or having the head of a baboon. He was whitewashed into Thoth, like I said, but he's known as a scribe, aka writer, or another name for a writer, who is the god of sacred magic, writings, symbols, hieroglyphs, science, alchemy, art, the deceased, those who have passed, and also judgment. Now, in some Egyptology stories, you will hear that his wife was Ma'at. You may hear that his wife was someone else, but in relatable stuff that I have researched, I have found that it's consistent that his wife is Ma'at, which makes more sense that he would be over judgment as well. Um, his feminine counterpart is supposed to be his daughter, Sishat. Okay. Now, in some other stories, Sishat is his wife. But in a lot of the stories that I found upon doing my research, I have found that Ma'at is the wife of Jehuti and Sishat is the daughter. And also his counterpart, which means the feminine version of him. Okay. It is to be believed that putting knowledge on papyrus and tablets in the first tarot was made by Jehuti, aka Thoth. He's also the alleged start of astrology and astronomy. Okay. Now let's talk about Seshat, the Egyptian goddess of the moon. As you can see, Thoth is on the right, she is on the left. Okay. She is the Egyptian goddess of the moon, which is wisdom, writing, and time instrumentation. Now, let me take my time with her because she's mm, yeah, let me take my time with her because she's already powerful. She's the female counterpart and a daughter of Jehuti, and she's also the daughter of Ma'at. Again, some of these ones you're going to see that they may be married. She is a moon goddess who measures time and is a record keeper. It is said that she is the mistress of the Great Library, which means that she's over the Akashic records. Okay. She is originally credited with creating writing itself, right? But however, Thoth, aka Jehuti, was the one who gave the means and taught men how to write. She was the one who did it in the celestial realm first. So she is accredited with being the creator of writing instrumentation, right? She also is the originator of mathematics and architecture. Okay. So apparently she's the one who takes care of Jehuti's spells and scrolls. Again, you've heard him as Thoth. Thoth, okay? She likes to wear leopard skin. And again, like I told y'all before, she does rule the Akashic records. Now, what makes her so interesting is if you look above her head, right? You see a seven-pointed star with upside down horns. Now, this is something that is going to be very interesting right here. And let's go to the next slide. So, a shot on her head, right? If you pay attention to it, here we go. See if I can get this to be nice and smooth. Okay, so there is no delay between two pictures But the back picture is a hieroglyph of her and it has the same symbol. All I did was take it and put it up forth. Now, I know the picture on the left looks like it belongs to a man, but it does not. If you look closer, you are looking at a clitoris, or how some people say clitoris. But in the top of her head, believe it or not, it's almost like a clitoral structure, right? It's a clitoris structure. So her hieroglyph bears a seven-pointed star, what looks like an upside down set of horns, right? So Jehuti is the messenger, but Seshat is the one who births the message. So although seven has had many esoteric meanings, um, one meaning that is not really explored is the tantric numerology meaning of the number seven, right? Which means that Seshat also deals in tantra. Now, isn't that amazing? She deals with tantra, right? So in tantric numerology, the seventh body purifies and washes the auric field, AURIC field, which is the energy layer for the physical body. Isn't that amazing? So this is like a protective auric field, but it's also a means to receive and display, which is beautiful, right? So that white light of protection that you always hear people telling you to visualize when you start to, above the crown chakra before you start to meditate. Yep. That's the tantric energy of her. Seshat. Seshat is responsible for that. And you would have never known, right? She's very popular in our modern times. Now, if you pay attention to what's on the left, you would see that even though it looks like a penis, it's not. Just pay attention. There are other parts. So, like for example, what's in the black kind of like looks like a pencil with no color. If you pay attention, that's the lips of the clitoris. So, in the outside of what it looks like, the inside structure is what's the light pink and the dark pink and what you're seeing. So basically, she was like the one who let me say it like this: God spoke, she wrote. You ever heard of Book of Remembrance? That would be her writing down, right? Okay. Now, what's also interesting about her too, if you pay attention to the seven-pointed star above her head, she's also the goddess of marijuana. Yes, yes, yes. Believe it or not, she actually. This is why I tell people I call marijuana God's collard greens or the holy herb, is because it actually opens the crown chakra for transmitting and receiving, right? It also emits energy from the third eye, which is why you hear a lot of people sometimes having an experience, whether it's a panic attack, anxiety attack, and or any forms of alien type of experience, right? Really amazing. That's crazy. But she's definitely the patron saint of marijuana. Okay, you can actually tap into records while high. This is why a lot of people get smart while they're high. She's the reason why. Sashai, isn't that crazy? I'm telling you, we can keep going on and on, but we gotta move on. So let me talk to y'all before I go forward. Let me talk to y'all about how to work with Jehuti, aka Thoth, and Seshat. Okay. The first thing you're gonna do for both of them, you're going to offer water and bread. With any Egyptian god or goddess or deity, you want to offer first water and bread. Okay? Water and bread. Water is life, bread is sustenance. That's the first two things I don't care if they're what they call dark magic, light magic, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. Water and bread. So with Jehuti, he likes lapis lazuli, moonstones, rosemary and sage, lotus flowers, and lotus roots. Any citrus fruit works with him because he's the kind of person that you want to. He's a writer, right? So even though he is associated with Hermes, and Hermes is associated with Mercury, which is where you get the god Nike from as well, a messenger, a quick messenger, someone who goes to and fro bringing messages and different things like that, kind of sort of, but he's the oldest form of that. What you want to do with any types of citrus fruits as an offering is to because he likes things that keeps him going, like a up and up, right? Like as if lavender would put somebody to sleep, any other like ginger would, whoo, spice, yeah. Which brings me to my next one. He does take ginger and hot spices. He loves extremely dark chocolate. The purer the better. He likes whiskey and or gin. I prefer to give him the brown than the light or the clear. He does like chai tea. What you can put as an offering for him is like quills and pins. Like the old school pins, which were made out of quills, feathers. Yes. Books about him or esoteric books of knowledge. He likes that. You can create a book of shadows, or you can create a spell for him. He likes that. Put it on the altar. Your do it your own DIY brew beer, home brewed beer. It's actually he likes that. He really does. Now, he likes when you write and read to him. He also likes for you to read to him short stories and poetry, that kind of thing. However, Jehuti can be a trickster like Elegba and Eshu. Okay? He can. To some people, he can be mean. To some people, he can be benevolent. Sometimes he can flow between the two because he's also a teacher. If he comes off as cruel, you can tell him to leave and apologize for conjuring him up. Okay? He does leave. He does not stay where he's not wanted. Okay? And I'm just reading off of my paper that I've did all my writing on, that I did not place here on this PowerPoint presentation. So for Sashat, you do want to offer water and bread. She likes lapis as well. Moonstone works as well. Clear quartz works. You can, if you feel the need to work with her or you feel drawn to her, you can get your little small table, get you like some leopard print fabric, and drape that fabric over there. She loves leopard print. Okay. She also does like rosemary. Now, rosemary is one of those herbs that can go sun or moon. It doesn't matter in this case. Papyrus paper, if you can find real papyrus paper, I'm pretty sure they sell it on Etsy and that type of thing. You can find it. Kind of like put some on your altar for her if you want to connect with her. Quills and pens she loves as well. She loves a good old book. Like when I say a good old book, I'm talking about a book that's old, right? Little small fossils that you see, like the little sea fossils, they're not a lot of money. You can actually get that, but you can put one on there for you. She also likes when people have their family trees written down and actually have them on the altar, right? That's another way that you can actually work with her, because she can also help you tap into ancestral records concerning your bloodline, right? You can put a blank journal, get you like a 99 cent, $1, journal, or a Q journal. You know what I'm saying? A journal with moons on it. You could put that right there. She does take cannabis, the actual cannabis leaf, the actual leaf, right? She does take the leaf as an offering. Beer and wine she loves. Dates, which are fruits, the fruit date, the dates. Palm leaves. She likes for when you want to work with her. She likes when you can go and hug a tree, especially like older trees. And the reason that being is because trees hold records. I don't know if y'all have ever seen this video on YouTube where a man took a slice of a tree and played it like a recording, like on a record player. And it actually played certain tones and frequencies. So it's very known that trees do record wisdom, right? They do. They record things. Bay leaves also you can work with her with. Juniper trees, lavender. Now, in order to get her attention, you must write down what you want to say to her, And before you read it to her, say this: Sashat, goddess of all wisdom, please hear and record my request and make it come to pass by placing it on your measurement of time in which I live by on a daily basis. Okay? The reason why you want to say that, and you can run that back, okay? You can run it back and play it. The reason why you want to say that is because she's very busy, right? She's benevolent, but she's too busy recording and writing down sometimes to pay attention. So you want to grab her attention where she can actually sit and then be like, oh, okay, right? So let's go on to the next goddess. This is Mawu. Mawu. She's the Benin goddess of the moon and the sun, but she's a moon goddess. Although she's associated with the sun, most lean her toward the moon due to her husband Lisa being a sun god, right? Almost all says that she created the earth and mankind. She's also known modernly as the African goddess of the universe. Y'all see that coiled snake around her neck like the egg and the snake? Yeah, that would be kind of somewhat like her. The people of not her, but somewhat related to. The people of Benin does believe that when there is an eclipse, whether of the moon or the sun, that it is Mawu and her husband Lisa or Lisa making love. Okay, that's what they believe. I think that's beautiful. She's also a fertility goddess and does carry wisdom. You can connect with her through nature. You can also connect with her under the light of the moon, especially when it's full. She's everywhere. You can connect with her everywhere. It doesn't matter where. I just had to drink. Okay, let's talk about Kafu. Now this is where it gets interesting. Okay, Kafu is the Haitian voodoo Loa of the moon. Now, I know y'all haven't heard of Kafu. The picture that you're getting ready to see next was the best picture that I can get that actually embodied what I needed to embody. I don't know if this is a light skinned man or white man. I don't even care. But the moon is in the back, the graveyard is there, and there's a young, fresh face with a top hat and a little pimp cane, whatever. This is what I needed. And the reason why is because I'm pretty sure that y'all have never heard of Kafu. I know y'all have never heard of Kafu. Some of y'all probably have and don't know details. But this is probably the most interesting moon god or deity that we'll ever hear of. Today, right now, as I'm teaching y'all, especially in the Haitian voodoo um, spiritual path. Okay? Now, Kafu is said to be very petro. Petro means hot, right? He is depicted as a young version of Papa Legba, but he is very fiery as he controls all evil. He might be the one who is responsible for the one who they sell their soul to, as he too does control the crossroads, right? So let's talk about duality, right? Talk about the duality of Papa Legba being the one who is getting all of this backlash, right? He's the one that everybody is afraid to work with, not knowing that Kaufu most likely is the one who shows up at the crossroads and the one who talks people into selling their souls to him. Now, one thing about Kaufu, he doesn't make anybody do anything. They do it of their own accord. However, he has the gift of gab. Okay? He has the gift of gab. He does allow misfortune, bad luck, violence, destruction, all things terrible, all things horrible. It's him. When Gaofu is conjured, all must remain silent. You cannot speak in the presence of him when he's conjured up. He's also, fun fact, the twin brother of Eshu, who is a Loa associated with the sun. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? I bet you didn't know Eshu had a twin brother. You know, Eshu is already whoo 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 whoo, but Gaofu, good grief. Some people say that they're one and the same, but there's some differences between Eshu and him. Listen, listen. This man, Gaofu, he if you can think of the most dangerous of the dangerous of the dangerous, just know he fits that description of deities, right? I just put him in there because you have to understand that he's a man of the night, just like you have the lady of the night, but he's nothing to play with, right? Those who are very, 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 very serious about black magic, they conjure him up, right? When I say black magic, I'm talking about all things evil, right? All things hurting, whatever, okay? He also allows injustice, all right? So those people who don't get justice, there you go. Kafu is the great is ooh, hold on, y'all. He's the great teacher of black magic. Oh, this is another one. I already know what it's gonna say. I don't know why my mouse is so sensitive, but please forgive me, but I'm gonna keep going. What it did say, and you can go back and pause it, right? So he's a great teacher of black magic, like harmful magic, right? But the difference between him and Eshu, and this is how you know the difference. If you conjure up Eshu, good lord, and then he's asking for his alcohol to have gunpowder in it, that's not Eshu, that's the twin brother. That's Gaofu. Yeah, uh-uh. I don't know if you're ready for all of that. Okay. Um, so we have the Zulu goddess of the moon, right? Beautiful. Inyanga. Inyanga. Zulu goddess of the moon, right? Her name also means to heal, and it also means moon at the sometime at the same time. So she's supposed to be the Zulu goddess of the Sangomas and Izinyanga, which is healers. She is a diviner, a healer, and an herbalist who is the patron of physicians if they practice in South Africa's, if South African physicians practice South African spirituality concerning deities, then Inyanga, Inyanga would be the one who would actually be helping them, right? She's also known to be the deity who whispers in a mother's ear to tell her what to do with the healing of her child. Sometimes, like when a child is crying, and it's because there's a discomfort in the body. There has been said that there has been said that she's responsible for the one coming down and whispering and saying, "Hey, look, your baby may be having a problem with the ear, or babies who can't speak." So, which I thought that was very interesting. She's known to rid people of their illnesses by casting out the spirit associated with that specific illness. And I thought that was also interesting. It is said that by working with Inyanga, that she gives revelations on how to heal by ways of nature and spirituality. And with that, ridding people of their illnesses by casting out the spirit associated with that specific illness, this is why you need to learn what what diseases, how diseases are causes, how diseases are caused on a spiritual aspect first before they turn into physical. She is the one who knows how to deal with those energies and spirits, right? And you see she has a same kind of energy almost as Mawu. As you can see in the background, there's earth, there's the moon, then there's snakes, right? And then she has like this key like thing in her hand, and then she has a person standing in the middle of her other hand. So those things is how she's kind of like responsible for the wellness of humanity and that kind of thing, which I thought was awesome. Let's go to the next thing. Animals of the moon. I thought which was beautiful. Cats, right? Of course. You say of course, Rafiki, cats. Okay. You know what this is? It's a Watusi, which is an African cow. Also bulls are also cows in general, but a Watusi specifically. If you see those horns, isn't that beautiful? Yeah, you see like Egyptian goddesses and gods with who have horns. They have those type of horns, Watusi horns. That's so. Hopefully, I solved that mystery for y'all, right? Because I know y'all was like, well, the American cow doesn't have. Well, it's a Watusi cow. It's an African cow. Cows in general and bulls are of the moon, right? Let's see what comes next. Ooh, owls, right? Birds of the night. Birds of the night brings wisdom, knowledge, revelation, right? And it's also and also could be a harbinger for death. And not in a bad way. Don't look at death in a bad way. Believe it or not, dogs. Believe it or not, dogs are animals of the moon. Well, you would say, Rafiki, well, that doesn't make sense. Some of you already got it because y'all thought of the next animal, which is wolves, right? You know the howling at the moon, right? The circadian rhythm, that kind of thing. Wolves are very in touch with the rhythm of the moon. So, and dogs are nothing but domesticated versions of wolves, whether be it's big or small. They are a direct lineage and kindred to the wolf, right? Hyena. This animal is also of a canine or dog nature. A wild African dog would be considered a hyena. But this is the thing: hyenas can are known as, even though they're spotted commonly during the day, they are really a nocturnal type of canine. Okay, they are very nocturnal, so they are associated with the moon energy. Vultures, right? You have to have good and bad with the moon. The moon has it again double sided like a coin. So when I say double sided like a coin, I'm talking about two types of characteristics on in one body. So the vulture is something of the moon. Now this is interesting because dealing with the spiritual energy of the vulture animal, nothing gets wasted. I know we look at these as like, but these buzzards are things that just eat dead stuff, but they're the cleaning crew of nature, right? Whatever's left behind, they come and clean. So nothing is left wasted. So when you're doing moon magic and you want to make sure that you are calling forth something, especially something to bring you something that would benefit you, that's beneficial to you, you might want to tap into the energy of a vulture. Why? Because not to be ruthless, even though they can be toward each other, but vultures also do know how to share. You see, there's more than one in the picture, right? They do know how to share. However, because they do kind of carry on in packs. You rarely see just one vulture by itself. However, they they won't waste anything, right? So you can ask for the spirit and the appetite of a vulture, that when something comes through, you will know how to handle it and know how to delegate whatever that is accordingly to what area of your life and different things of that nature. So nothing of that would be wasted. I'm telling you some good stuff. Let's go to the next thing. Pigs. I listen. After doing my research, it was true. Pigs are an animal that is associated with the moon. Pigs also can understand the rhythm of the moon as well, believe it or not. Raven, a raven, which is also a form of a harbinger, right? They say bring death, but ravens also brings messages. Okay, ravens. Back in medieval times, people would catch ravens and they would whisper to them their secrets, or whisper to them something that they wanted to, bring to someone supernaturally, and then they'll let it go during the night, specifically during a full moon or waxing moon. They would let it go, and then the superstition was is that that person that was supposed to receive that message or bring something to that other person. That person who was supposed to receive it would have some form of a dream or something like that, and that's how they would actually get it, right? I mean, nothing is far-fetched in this life. Now let's talk about this thing. This is a Harpy Eagle, okay? This is a Harpy Eagle. Now, let me explain this to y'all. A Harpy Eagle is supposed to be a direct descendant from the mythical creature, the griffin. Now, the reason why I say the mythical creature is because when you look up griffin, it tells you that it's a mythical creature, which I do believe existed in real life. Call me crazy, I don't give a damn. But this Harpy Eagle actually helped me to believe, and I've known of this eagle for I don't know how long. This has been like an obsession, kind of sort of, because it almost if you look up other pictures of the Harpy Eagle, it looks like the face of an owl eagle hybrid, which is really crazy. But if you see on the right hand side of this picture, it almost looks like it could have been a human that was morphed into some form of an eagle, right? Almost looks human like, especially in the eye area, even though it has a beak. But for whatever reason, it does give like human energy. Do y'all feel that? How creepy this shit looks creepy, right? Harpy Eagle. Creepy, creepy, creepy. Yes. So a Harpy Eagle is associated with the moon. Okay. This is probably one of the biggest eagles known to man besides the golden eagle, which is extremely huge. But this one is extremely huge. Do you see even the legs, just the meat on the legs alone? So as you can see, the reason why it has those shackles around its legs is because it's in captivity. Some people say they're on the endangered species list. Some people say that they're just fine. Well, I don't know if they're just fine or not, because obviously this we don't see these things flying around every day. They are extremely huge. As you can see that this human is sitting on side on the log. See how huge? They get bigger than that. But this Harpy Eagle is an eagle of the moon. This is more of a masculine energy dealing with feminine energy, which means it's more balanced. But some people say that this is more so of a hunter feminine energy, the Harpy Eagle. Whew. So that is something to keep in mind when you are trying to tap into the energetic energy of an Harpy Eagle for moon spell purposes. Yeah. Oh my God. Look at that. Look at that. It looks weird, don't it? It's giving me the GPs. All right, y'all. So let's talk about the chakra of the moon, which is the sacral chakra. Everybody thinks that it is. Everybody and their mama thinks that it's the crown or the third eye. Not necessarily true. The sacral chakra is associated with the moon because it sits over the womb, where the womb is, right? Even men have wombs, even though they can't give birth physically, y'all still have a womb, okay? But we women, yeah, that's where it is, right with the womb, right below the navel, right, right below the navel, but right above where the genitalia starts, right? So that's where it is, where it's responsible for creativity, procreation, sexuality, pleasure, and desires. This is also where your gut feeling lies. So empath energy is there as well. I know it's hard to believe, but when you say that I have that gut feeling, something my gut is telling me that something is up, child. Yes, God. That's sacral chakra, right? That's moon energy. That's intuition. Okay, that's psychic abilities, all of that. The sacral wheel is physically responsible for sexual organs, the lumbar spine, urinary tract, bladder, and the colon. Sacral chakra imbalances includes dehydration, guilt, isolation, fertility issues, low libido, sex isolation. What sex isolation is that when you have erectile dysfunction or sexual issues that keeps you from not wanting to have sex, right? So you kind of try to avoid it at all costs. Ladies or gentlemen, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you've been in a relationship or you started dating and then y'all called yourself boyfriend, girlfriend, y'all had not slept with each other or anything yet, and then all of a sudden, like, they just keep finding any reason to not be sexually orientated with you. That may be why their sacral chakra is imbalanced and they may be having some form of sex isolation, which is self-induced, right? Urinary tract infections, also UTIs, irregular menstrual cycles, dependency issues and codependency issues, low self-confidence, sadness, mild depression, emotionally imbalanced, which is somebody who's you let your emotions run you, you don't run your emotions. And kidney issues is also sacral, it points towards sacral chakra imbalances. Okay? So let's talk about trees and flowers and stuff that's associated with the moon. All willow trees are associated with the moon. Coconut palms are associated with the moon. Bay leaves, the carob or carob, some people say carob, I've heard some people say carob, but carob tree. This is also hazel tree, where you get your witch hazel from, right? That's what that is. Papaya. And this is also the golden chain tree. Golden chain, which is a very interesting. I don't know if y'all ever seen this. Have y'all ever seen this? This is called laburnum. 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 I know I got a cold-blooded accent, but y'all, we're just gonna work through it, okay? All right, let's talk about these flowers here. Look at this daffodil, right? Ain't that pretty? Some people call daffodils narcissus or narcissus. They the same damn thing as daffodils. Shit. Gourds of any kind are associated with the moon, believe it or not. Think about gourds being dried out and used as either an instrument of like bowls or something to pitch water with, or spoons, that kind of thing, something to hold water, or also a musical instrument. Because when they dry out on the inside, you have these seeds, and when you shake them, they sound like shakers. So these are things that conjures up or brings forth spirit, which is life, which is water, right? I thought that was beautiful. Yams, yes, God. Lilies, doesn't matter if they're white or purple. White and purple does work, and it's under the reigns of the moon. Let's go to the next one. Camphor, orris root, wormwood, yes, God. Wintergreen. This is, now listen, this is galbanum. This can actually come as a resin, but that's how it looks in the background as a plant. Pretty sure you've seen that before. But galbanum can come as a resin. You can burn that. This can be an incense. Camphor oil, camphor block, orris root, you can work with that. Wormwood, you can work with that. Wintergreen, you can work with that. They got the oils for it. You can make tinctures, that kind of thing. But just make sure that you look up if you can use it for internal use, because not all of these things are edible, okay? Because they can be poisonous to the body. Eucalyptus oil. Here we have jasmine. You can use the flowers, the oil, whatever. And then we have Lang Lang. I know some people say Ylang Ylang. I don't do that. I say Lang Lang. Okay, because that's what it really is. Lang Lang. That's what it looks like. But you see it in as an oil. But this is what the actual plant looks like. Let's talk about some minerals, metals, and gemstones, right? Okay, we got silver, boo. You already know. They tell you to what? Use silver to control the werewolf, right? Because during a full moon, that person turns into a werewolf. Silver keeps them in check. Why? And nobody's asking the questions of why they use silver. Well, silver is supposed to keep an equilibrium inside of the werewolf, which actually doesn't kill the werewolf. It's not in original folklore lore. It doesn't kill the person. It's supposed to turn them back into a human because the equilibrium is off for a werewolf, right? So the next one is platinum, selenite. Ain't that beautiful? Moonstone, beautiful. And it doesn't matter what kind of moonstone too, because there's that white rainbow moonstone that works too. This is clear quartz and lapis lazuli, which is so beautiful. That's my favorite stone. Oh, right here we have, ain't that beautiful, alabaster. This is beautiful. And we also have white onyx. They are actually not that far apart. Alabaster is just a little bit more fragile than white onyx is. White onyx is actually more tougher, but alabasters can be very fragile and fall apart. So you have to take your time to deal with it. And if you have something alabaster, that would be beautiful to work with the moon as well. Let's talk about the planetary health of the moon. So in a physiological sense, the moon governs any part of the body that secretes fluid outside of the body, right? So, like, let's say your tears, right? Your tear ducts, your mouth, right? Because of saliva, your sexual organs, that kind of thing. Yeah, the womb. Gray matter in the brain is ruled by the moon, right? So if you notice when people say when you hear somebody say, yeah, it's a full moon out tonight, people acting crazy, that kind of thing, or that's when a lot of the birth rate spikes in hospitals when it comes to a full moon. This is all explaining why that is, right? Your cerebral fluid, the gray matter in the brain, is being swayed by the moon, which also does sway the body, which is what 70% or a little bit over 70% made of water. Come on, y'all. Of course, we're going to be influenced by the moon and its phases. Spinal fluid or the sacred secretion, that Christ consciousness fluid that goes up and down the spine, especially once the Kundalini has risen. That right there is ruled by the moon. The lungs, the sympathetic nervous system is ruled by the moon. Tumors, abscesses, chest colds, pneumonia, epilepsy, they say all general allergies and all reoccurring ailments is what is around the moon. Now, this is interesting. Have you ever seen someone's sickness get worse when night falls? I'm going to tell you why. Because the moon can arouse inflammation in the body at night due to the circadian rhythm in the body, which helps to manage the immune system. So your body's rhythm at night starts to, what I like to call, clock out or check out, so you can rest, which in turn lowers your immune system. So what happens with that is when your immune system gets lowered, that's when heightened fever or heightened this or heightened that. You could walk around and function all day, but then at night, when night falls, it's like, oh my God, this headache thing got worse, or that kind of thing. That's why. Okay, let's talk about planetary hours of the day for the moon, or lundi. Lundi in French. When we are talking about so dimanche is Sunday. Lundi is Monday or the day of the moon, right? So again, for the planetary hours of the day, even though I have 1 a.m. right there, I'm going to tell you all that again. When the sun first rises, that will be the first hour of the moon. So if you go online and say December 20th, sunset, sunrise time, and it says 6 a.m., well, that first hour for the moon for you to do planetary work will be 6 a.m. Then that second hour after that will be Saturn. But just for the sake of this, you can start your day at 1 a.m. on a Monday as far as the moon is concerned. Again, take it or leave it. This is just two ways to help y'all do y'all planetary stuff. Now, same thing, well, not same thing. No. Well, same thing. If you're gonna follow what's around sunrise and sunset, because it's gonna always be different and it's not gonna be the same. It's not gonna be the same. You know what I'm saying? Because if sunrise is if sunrise is at 6, and that'll be the day of the hour of the moon, then you have to follow 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9. So that may be different. But if you want to follow the AM and PM, then 1 p.m. on a Monday would be Venus, 2 p.m. will be Mercury, 3 p.m. will be the moon, so on and so forth. Until you get to 12 a.m., which will be Jupiter, going into uh, a Tuesday. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about candle colors for the moon. Silver. And we know that silver is going to bring reflection. It's also going to bring revelation. This is the reason why you can use a mirror when doing spell work and candle work under a moonlight. Okay, so silver is always going to bring you revelation, truth. It also is going to bring your fears up to a head so you can deal with them and dispel them and get rid of them. Because remember, the moon is not there to be evil. It's trying to make it come up so that you can get over it. Okay, black, you can use anything for that one. I mean, black magic. You can even do dispelling things and casting out things and that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Purification also can be used with black. And also for me, I like to use the ash of things. Like for example, like if I want to banish something and I do it at night and I'm using a black candle, a part of my spell work, sometimes I'll write whatever I need to write down that I want to banish and then burn it and use the ash of that paper and actually dress that candle with some of that ash because I'm still trying to banish and I want it to leave from me. So I'm allowing that candle to dispel that over time as well. So you have short term and long term. That's just the way that I do it. I'm just giving y'all an example. One of the reasons why I haven't really been trying to give y'all anything specifically is because if I'm always giving y'all everything, y'all are going to use that and not want to use your mind to try to put your own stuff together. And this is the reason because listen, I hate to say it, I love y'all, but we are used to just wanting people to hand us stuff. And I'm telling you, I'm giving y'all enough information where y'all can go and do this. Y'all, listen, y'all have no. I read some of y'all stuff that y'all sent me after coming back online, and Lord knows it's been tough. It's been a tough week. Truly, I don't even want to talk about it. If y'all can understand, I've been trying to avoid talking about it, which y'all really haven't heard me. But anyway, um, y'all have came up with some bomb ass spells. I was like, look at them. Y'all are growing. Some of y'all are just like, oh, I don't know what to do. Baby, let me tell you something. We're gonna have to have discussions, live discussions where y'all can ask questions because honestly a lot of y'all are into your own head and y'all making it more than what it is. This stuff is simple. I promise you it's simple. Purple candles also brings wisdom, knowledge, John the Conqueror, that kind of thing. um this, to be honest with you, a lot of people don't talk about this specific thing that you can do for purple, with purple, if you want things to stay hidden or hide something, you can use a purple candle. Yes, you can. Matter of fact, if you want to, you can actually use it right after a full moon, right? Where it starts waning, you actually can use those phases to hide something, okay? When you want to keep something hidden. I'm just dropping a few nuggets. Of course, classic white works with everything. Blue. Blue is intuition, knowledge, wisdom, downloads, uploads, that kind of thing. You want to use that for that. And gray. Now, um, people rarely talk about gray, but let me just say this to y'all. Of course, it's a mixture of black and white, which in itself has the energy of duality. However, black and gray, I mean, black and white being gray, the color gray can help scramble, keep somebody from getting information. It can also, what in the hell was that? It also can be used as a means, it's gray, as a means to connect two worlds with in one arena, right? So you when dealing with the moon's energy, even though it's kind of hard to find gray candles inside stores, some of them you may look up and find some. But with a gray candle, for me, when I want to do some as above, so below shit, I don't care what it is, good or bad. That's what I do. I'll take a gray candle quick and do that. That ain't nothing. Okay. I didn't mean to put angels of the sun. It's supposed to be angels of the moon, so please forgive me. Our Archangel Gabriel or Gabriel and Archangel Haniel. This was the best picture that I can find. Let's talk about these two. On the left, Archangel Gabriel, which is a messenger angel, he helps with creativity, opening means of communication with people, and also spirit communication. He helps with goals. He helps with self-esteem. He also delivers and drops off messages. He goes to and fro, right? And Gabriel again is when you want to. He's an archangel that you want to deal with as far as communication is concerned. He is considered an angel of the moon. A lot of people don't really want to believe that. Again, just ignore the title. Just ignore the title. Haniel. Now, Haniel. I know y'all have not heard of Haniel, but or Haniel. Some people say Haniel. I say Haniel. Uh, or some people say Aniel because they don't even the A. Some spellings you may see that the A is not there and the A is capitalized. Um, this is an angel of intuition, right? This Haniel heals families and relationships. This angel was originally the quote unquote first man on the moon, but in reality, he is a she, honey. That's a female archangel. Okay, she's a moon angel. All right. So they say that the face on the moon is her, and that's her looking down on humanity, right? Just hoping and praying that somebody will connect with her for intuition, healing of a sort, that kind of thing. She brings transformation, joy, pleasure, and beauty. Even though they say she's originally associated with Venus, she is a moon angel. All right, she definitely is a moon angel. I think that's it, y'all. Oh, let's do this. Keywords for moon spells: intuition, spiritual sight, creativity, truth, release fears, beauty, health and balance in health, equilibrium, wise counsel, prophecy, revitalization, peace and relaxation, call in inner strength, dispel low vibrational energies, and that's it. And you may see that some of those keywords for moon spells, some of them are from also as well the sun category, the keywords for the sun spells. And that's because, listen, that is specifically because they may have some form of, even though they're dual, they're light and dark, sun versus moon, that kind of thing. They do have some things that are the same. Okay, they do have some things that are the same. So you do kind of sort of have some things, some keywords that you can use, but specifically toward the moon, because the offerings would be different, right? The offerings will be different. I also wanted to talk to y'all about these things because I am going to be doing a part 2 to this, just for the sake of seasonal tides and phases of the moon, but because I need to go into it, right? Real quick and really short. You have 4 parts of the year, right? You have the spring equinox going through the summer solstice. You have the summer solstice going through the autumn equinox, and then you have the autumn equinox going through the winter solstice, and then you have the winter solstice going through the spring equinox. Now, um, this is about seed time and harvest, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because when it's springtime and summer, so it's spring equinox and summer solstice, that's when you want to sow. You want to put in, right? You want to put in the ground because it's a good time for you to plant that seed, right? In the spring brings new life. That's when you have good weather, not too hot, not too cold. That's when you can be able to put stuff in the ground. Really good time, right? Because when the winter solstice starts to take place and going into the autumn equinox, that's harvest time. That's the tide of harvest, right? That's when whatever you planted in the spring, you get to harvest in autumn equinox, right? But in the autumn equinox, which is the third tide, autumn equinox going to the winter solstice is a tide of reflection. Now, I'm going to tell you why. Because when you come from the autumn equinox to the winter solstice, after you have harvested what you've sown, what you want to do is let the ground breathe, right? That's why you reflect. You're not planting anything at this time. You're letting Mother Earth rest. You're letting her body rest, her womb rest, right? Any woman who has Irish twins knows that she had sex right when she was not supposed to. You was given 6 to 8 weeks to chill out. You was over there having sex and got pregnant and got Irish twins. What is Irish twins? When 2 of your children is born 11 months apart. You got pregnant back to back. That's really what that was. You didn't wait. Just had sex. Right? But that's a tide of reflection. You do not want to put anything in the ground at that time. You just want to sit back. But this is what happens. When the winter solstice takes over and goes into the spring equinox, this is when you start tilling the ground back over again. Right? This is when you start turning the ground over. This is called overturning. You want to now take your shovel, get whatever you got to get, aerate the ground to get it ready for you to plant all over again. That's the 4 tides. Okay? And I'll repeat just for this time. Seasonal tide, which is the tide of sowing. That's the first one. From spring equinox to the summer solstice, that's the tide of sowing. The second one is from the summer solstice to the autumn equinox is the tide of harvest. From the autumn equinox to the winter solstice is the tide of reflection. Tide, T-I-D-E. T-I-D as in dog, E. Tide of reflection. Winter solstice through the spring equinox is going to be the tide of overturning. Now, the phases of the moon that divides the lunar month is, of course, the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, and the fourth quarter. Now, what is the fourth? The first quarter is the new moon waxing through the half moon. So it's the new moon, which is we can't see in the sky, growing into a half a moon. The second quarter is that half a moon growing into a full moon. The third quarter is the full moon shrinking down to a half moon, right? Or called half waned. And then the fourth quarter is that half moon disappearing into nothing at all, just going dark. That's what it is. And then we're going to get into it about phases because that's going to be very important for you too. But I definitely want to deal with this whole moon energy because this is going to be something that we really do need to utilize, right? So even right now, as y'all receive this, whoever is open to do this right now, that's fine. We're going to enter into the light of Yesod, or the light of Luna, which is the moon, and approach the innermost shrine of the foundation of pure intelligence. And we invoke the pure energy and the pure light of the moon of the first heaven to encompass our heart and put splendor and establish it upon us and help us go into the light and call forth within our souls the holy powers of the moon. So her glories of the world invisible can be vividly present into our inner realization, which will grow outwardly and go off into the world as we are one. So shall we? So I pray that we are endued, enveloped, and guided by the virtue of Luna, of the moon, that we may learn the inner and outer workings of her magic, her esoteric knowledge, and her wisdom. So mote it be. For some of y'all who say so mote it be, you can repeat that. Aman, Amen, Amun, Abracadabra, so be it. I love y'all. Let's discuss at the bottom. Mwah.